So I don't know how to pronounce your last name, and I don't want to mess it up. So I'll let you introduce yourself, buddy.
Junghenn, Samuel Junghenn. Kind of like James Bond. But, there's a whole bunch of you here, and now I get the feeling of, what it feels like to be a monkey, like locked in the zoo. So it's kind of like that. But on the way over here from Australia, I stopped in San Diego and I went to the zoo there. And I saw the monkeys there, and they didn't look very happy, and it kind of pissed me off a little bit. But it doesn't piss me off as much as when I'm hanging out in our communities and I'm in our forums and I see people posting things like, where can I get a $2 per hour VA? Or people bragging about, hey, I got this $1 per hour Bangladeshi to build my website. These people obviously haven't heard of the saying, you pay peanuts and you get monkeys. And I don't mean that in a racist way, and I know there's no one here that would think that way, but I want to make a point of it. And the reason is because there's no inherent value in anything. And as marketers, it's our job to craft value in the minds of our prospective buyers. So just because you're hiring someone for $1 per hour or $2 per hour, it doesn't automatically mean that you're getting value from that interaction. And you can sure as hell bet that the person on the receiving end of that is not getting value either. It doesn't matter what country or culture they're in. And so I really want to, maybe you can think about it a different way. Think about building a team of geese, golden geese. So your team is your gaggle of golden geese. Try to say that with a few beers under your belt. But the more you look after them and the more you treat them well, treat them like a family, the more golden eggs they're going to lay for you. And so, just curious, how many people have already got a team? Okay, so quite a fair few of you. And for those that don't, if you ask any of the top online marketers or business people, they're going to tell you one of the two things that they wish they'd done sooner. One is build a list, and the other is build a team. And so I can't place enough emphasis on, building a team. So I want to share a little story with you. There was big floods in the end of 2011, and one of our web designers lost his home and tragically lost his girlfriend as well, his high school sweetheart of 8 years. And so that was quite devastating. But what was interesting is to see that we only had a small team then, about 10 people. They all came together, all these people that had never met, that all dotted around the world, never met, and they came together and we raised nearly $1,000 to pay for this poor girl's funeral. And that just goes to show that if you provide a lot of value to people and you really bring them in close and tight, the kind of results that you can get and the commitment level that you get from people. So here's the 5 top things that I've learnt over building a team of 27 over the last couple years. The first one is hire on attitude, not skill. You can train people to do most things, but you can't train people to have a kick-ass attitude. And also think about hiring them for the long term. People that have done business with me know that I only go into a relationship with the intention of being in business with you in 50 years' time. And I don't think about it any differently when I hire someone on Odesk or Elance. On the flip side, you never ever want to penalise someone for taking initiative and doing something wrong. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Number 2 is emotional rewards. You always want to be reiterating how good people are and you're proud of them and that you really appreciate what they do. Appreciation is probably the number 1 driving force in giving people fulfillment and job satisfaction. Number 3, I got from one of my friends, James Shremko. It's kind of a loose, tight system. You want to imagine you're fishing and you reel people in, and then you let them out loose. And then you reel people in and let them out loose. You want to bring them in tight so that they understand who's boss. They realise that you're watching them and that you're measuring their results. But you also want to let them go out and be free because this is where they have their creativity. This is where they feel empowered and inspired to do better for your business. Number 4 is don't negotiate. what people are paid forms part of their identity. So if you're negotiating with what they're getting paid, you're effectively just cutting out part of their identity. You're going to knock down their self-esteem, and they're not going to feel very inspired to work for you and to do a good job for you. And the last one is let people know that they're part of something bigger than themselves. People love to be part of a community. People love to be part of something that, part of a movement that is going somewhere. A quick example of this is my assistant is in a third world country. In December, she sent me a picture of her new laptop and her wireless internet connection. And I said, why'd you send me that? And she said, well, I'm going to hospital in a couple of weeks to have my baby, and I'm taking this with me so that I can work from the hospital. Now, I didn't ask for that, and I sure as hell didn't take her up on the offer, but it goes to demonstrate that if you treat people like family and you really look after them when you're building your team, that's the level of commitment that you can get from people. Now, this particular person, as I said, she's in a third world country, and I pay $18 an hour, US. And the reason that I do that is because I understand it's not about the price, but it's about the value that she delivers to Think Big Online. I've studied a lot of psychology, human behaviour, follow Robert Cialdini, got my master's in NLP and a whole bunch of other funky stuff. But the most important thing that I've learnt about influence is that every single thing that you do or do not do trains someone to do something. Every single thing that you do or do not do trains someone to do something. Thank you.
Give it up for Samuel.